Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 49 of Podcast of Five Rings, your source of enlightenment in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode of Podcast of Five Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes, SoundCloud, and topic by topic, day by day on YouTube, with the full video releasing on Friday. To catch updates about the podcast or for other news, give us a follow on your social media platform of choice, listed in the description below. I'm your host, GM, and overseer of Podcast of Five Rings Obsidian, joined tonight by the resident wildcard, Mal.
Yo.
Dark Fortune Duelist Meta.
Hiya.
And the wall that will not fall, Tetsuo. He must have fell. He fell. He's gone.
Oh no!
The Shadowlands got him.
Not do my hello. I helloed.
It did not.
Your robot voice, Tets.
You're forever denied.
I'm just kidding. You're not robot voice. I was gonna see if I can get a reaction out of you.
Don't lie to him like that.
I just jinxed it. I just jinxed
too
it.
often.
I just jinxed it. It's gonna happen now.
Look what you've
The rest
done.
of the episode.
Look what you've done.
I know not what I do with this power. Oh my god. Well, it's been a long week, and I'm glad it's almost over. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
Yep. The sleepies and the yawns. That's exactly what I'm suppressing. Man. You're just letting it all hang out, and I'm just trying to suppress it.
I can't even hide it.
Poor Tets has been on like 10 hours of sleep for like all week.
Yeah.
Monday night to up through last night, I think total I've gotten maybe 10 hours.
He retroactively saw the God of War reviews, and now he's just like super excited for it in the future. That's all it is.
I'm pretty excited about it because it is God of War Norse style, so I mean...
Yeah, it's gonna... We've talked about it before. It looks cool.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just get right on into this thing we're doing here.
Sure.
Mal's starting us off, so
all right.
You go ahead.
Well, we're getting real close to the release of Avengers: Infinity War, so I figured we could talk about the MCU
As a whole.
Sure. I mean, they're coming up on their 19th movie.
I'm against it.
All of it?
I don't know.
All right, list the pros and cons, Meta. You can't
List
just
the pros
make a
and cons.
blanket statement.
Pro, it's MCU. Con, it's definitely MCU.
Pro, it's not the DCU.
It's not DC.
Or DCCU, I guess.
No, wait, I'm against it. Hold on. Let me flip that around. Con, it's MCU. Pro. No, wait, damn it, I've done it again. I can't do this.
Anywho.
I'm really bad at this whole thing.
Yeah, you are. But
Real honesty.
The first one was Iron Man back in 2008. In the last decade, they're coming out with their 19th here in a few weeks.
Dude, it feels like it's been longer than a decade
Right about-
to me.
Right about 2 a year, almost-ish.
Yeah, May 2nd was the release date for Iron Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That actually is true. It's almost 2 a year.
Yep, and they moved the day up.
Yeah. I think it's just become one of my favorite franchises, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a lot of people's. It's safe to say
Yeah,
by how successful it is.
No one else has really accomplished this sort of thing.
We see, like, we see series where it's always like you create a movie and then generally they make a sequel for it, and the sequel's never generally as good as the original, and then maybe do a trilogy, maybe, and then it ends. But for this, there's never really. I mean, I guess some of them are sequels. You can argue that they are. I mean, like, you've got Captain America, and then you've got like Winter Soldier, and then you've got Civil War. But they're all wonderful. I mean, this isn't just like a series that's like, it's not, Prepare to Fight. It's not the Transformer series, which seems to have survived somehow.
Oh my god.
Yeah. This is a series that's actually good.
People just want to watch things blow up.
I guess so. But you can do that and still be good. That's not. And I mean, we see that shit all the time though in the MCU. We see shit blow up all the time. We see great fighting scenes, and it's well told. It's great the whole way through. It's probably you're absolutely right. It's like the first of its kind.
Yeah, I mean, you've got like what Harry Potter was 8 movies, but that was like following a following a book series very closely. You've got James Bond,
the greatest series of all time.
Standalones.
The greatest series of all time. You're forgetting it. Twilight.
No, no.
The 5 Twilight. I don't even know how Twilight movies there are.
There were 5? I thought. Wait,
was there? I don't know. There's like 5 or 6, isn't there?
There was 3 books. 3 books.
3 books, 4 movies. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. 5, 4, whatever. Same number.
Okay.
4 fingers.
4 fingers.
No, I honestly though I think part of where it grabbed some of that success in what it's doing is that it didn't shy away from material in its source material's complexity in the way that movies tend to. Like movies tend to say, our viewers, we need to dumb down some of the stuff for our viewers, whether for good or bad, true or false. That we need to make it more accessible. Whereas comic books are just mix, and they're not afraid to do that.
I actually kind of have to agree sometimes. I mean, not to say that's the case for everything, because that's never the case, but I'm going to preface that just because. But there are times where movies have been slightly dumbed down, or made more... I don't want to say dumbed down. They weren't dumbed down, but they were made more accessible. And that, unfortunately, means taking certain things out that were a part of it.
I think part of it is the MCU kind of like they're not following Harry Potter was like they have to cut stuff because of the format change, but like they're following it pretty closely. This is like its own. It's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's its own universe. Like they definitely take things from the comics, but they the Mandarin. They did their own thing with that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
And it was great.
They aren't afraid to do the same type of like complexity that comic books are known for, unlike other movies. That's all I was meaning.
No other. What is it? What are they called now? I can't remember. Is it just no? What was? I guess they're just called cinematic universes, or
pretty
kind
much.
of the same. That were trying to everyone was trying to pop up their own, and they just all keep.
Remember the dark universe that was going to happen,
and
the Mummy is probably the worst blockbuster movie I've ever seen. I wanted to kill myself, and it was a living nightmare.
They wanted to. I believe. Who did the newest Mummy?
Yeah, Universal Studios. They were trying to redo all their old.
Yeah, they tried to front load like all of the cinematic universe tie-ins to it because there was like Dr. Jekyll and other characters I can't remember.
Yeah. They wanted to do like a whole cinematic.
They were gonna do the Invisible Man, Wolfman, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what's everyone's kind of favorite movies for these? Anyone like anything or?
I want Tets to go first because.
I knew you were going to say that somehow.
Because you're the one. Yeah, because you're the one who's the most lukewarm on the MCU. So that's why your opinion's the most interesting.
I mean, I'm the most lukewarm on it. Just because I don't see movies when they immediately come out doesn't mean I'm lukewarm on it.
I mean, how many of the 18 movies out have you seen?
Yes.
15 of them.
How many? You keep cutting out.
15. Sorry, 15. 15.
15.
That's not bad.
So
which one is? Which one or few? Which ones do you like the most? I guess. What style? Because I mean, you get a lot of choices.
Like, I was gonna say honestly, for me, it's a matter of what mood am I in, and then that's the type. Like, if I want something that's fun, like just kind of like a romp, I'm gonna go to something that's more. Thor or Guardians of the Galaxy. If I'm wanting to, more wanting battle suits a mood, but I guess it kind of isn't. But then I'll go to Iron Man. I mean, hell, I'm almost caught up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I know is MCU, but not. But sometimes
they have a weird relationship with their TV stuff. It's like it falls down. It doesn't.
They got an on again, off again relationship.
The movies never reference the TV stuff.
Yeah.
Probably the best.
Yeah, I was just saying that Coulson's coming back because He's coming back in Captain Marvel because it's in the past, along with Ronan the Destroyer from Guardians.
Ronan's
cool.
in freaking that movie.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
Wow, I'm surprised they brought him back because people did not like Ronan.
Yeah, he was kind of blah. Maybe a little. Well, I think it's going to be Skrulls versus Kree, and that she gets involved in.
Yeah.
So we'll also be the first we get to see Skrulls.
Probably.
In the MCU.
They don't want to use them for that Fantastic Four they got back.
Yeah, the Fantastic Four are finally coming back to the comics after what event was it? Secret World. They decided to stay out of the universe, kept spawning off new ones. It was weird. But yeah, so is there one in particular you just really enjoy, Tats?
I would probably say Guardians 2, just because that's the most fresh one for us.
For us? For
Sorry,
you?
us, my wife and I. 'Cause
okay.
I'm not allowed to watch the movies without her, so we tend to be in accord. I apologize. I spoke with the royal we. If I mentioned I'm tired.
Yes.
I think that's probably it for me personally, just because it's the most recent Marvel movie I've seen.
I guess.
And so it's kind of new, the freshest.
So it's probably just the newer ones you haven't seen.
Well,
anything past that, basically?
So what I haven't seen is Thor, Black Panther, and Spider-Man.
The new Thor.
Yeah, Ragnarok.
Yeah, the newest
three
Thor.
after
Yeah,
Guardian.
Gotcha. What's yours, Meta?
Oh, that's hard.
What topped the list for you?
I think the one that I've watched probably the most has to be Deadpool. No. Although I do like that movie a lot.
Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, Batman versus Superman is my favorite MCU. That's part of the MCU, right? I don't know. Like, I think probably the one I've enjoyed the most had to be Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I've just watched that one the most. But
Yeah.
I would say the Avengers in general are just fun.
All the team ups.
The team ups are very fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Civil War I've seen more than once or twice.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for me to say because I don't think any of them have ever stood out as being, oh, this is clearly better than the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely some that are not as good as others.
I probably would state that, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not critiquing them hard enough. Let me get my critiquing glasses on. Hold on.
Get your top hat, your monocle.
Yeah, monocle, top hat, my cane. Oh. I would probably just state Guardians of the Galaxy is just the one I've sat down and watched the most. I have enjoyed that one. I like the cast of characters. I like how they are kind of very much a mismatch of individuals. They are your adventuring party, and that is something I just enjoy about them.
Yeah, it's the most like a tabletop game out of any of the movies. For sure.
I enjoy them for who they are and like the hilarity of what they can bring. Plus I absolutely adore the soundtrack. So
yeah, it's really good.
Oh yeah,
I'm almost with Meta. There's so many good ones that I don't know what my favorite one is for sure. I think like the best one from a movie making standpoint is Winter Soldier, but
I can see that.
My favorite, it's in my favorites. I would say like my 5 favorites are probably Winter Soldier, Guardians 1, Thor 1, Thor Ragnarok, and the first Avengers. Those are probably my top 5.
The Winter Soldier is kind of when they really turned the point of like making superhero movies, like and what they could do with them.
Yeah, they started trying different genres within.
Yeah, pretty much everything before
movies.
that is just a standard superhero movie.
Yeah, it was your standard like here's the first movie, and I guess and Iron Man 2 was is probably my least favorite Marvel movie. So
Oh no, it's the Hulk for me.
Yeah,
I don't
I'd
remember
have to
the
agree on that.
I don't even remember the Hulk.
Right.
but do you remember the Ang Lee Hulk?
Thanks. I wanted to remember that. So
The Eric
badly.
Bana Hulk.
I really wanted to. That was something I really wanted to remember.
Yeah, I would put Iron Man 2 under it. Mickey Rourke's the best part of Iron Man 2. I remember him, and I don't remember anything else about that movie, really. Probably
I'll
doesn't
always
help
remember
this
the guy who was testing out the suits and it overturns and all the problems that they had.
Yeah, people
So that made me just cringe in the movie theater.
people always shit on Thor 1, but I love Fish Out of Water stories, and it's really funny.
I mean, I think it's better than Thor 2.
Yeah, Thor 2 is not super great either. It's towards the bottom as well, in my opinion.
Shame.
Yeah, my favorites are I will always love the first Avengers movie. I think it's their tightest movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's probably up there for just their I wouldn't say it's like their best standalone because you kind of need to know about it going in. It's the payoff of all of Phase 1. So Joss Whedon said he wasn't going to come back for the second one. But if he did, he was going to make it like a smaller, more personal movie or whatever, and that did not happen.
Sorry.
He ended up cutting out some quite a bit of stuff and argued with the studio about what to cut, and I think the movie just suffered for that, because he ended up standing his ground. He made it one less minute than the first Avengers, and I just think it ended up being a worse movie because of it.
Talking about Age of Ultron.
Yeah, Age of Ultron.
Yeah, it's another one that people generally rank amongst the lowest ones.
Yeah,
It's kind of sad too because I really like some of the stuff that they were trying to do with it. But
Yeah, some of
I
the scenes are good.
agree.
I think Whedon was just too focused on trying to make it more like the first Avengers. He just needed to let it, put in an extra 10 or 15 minutes and let it, be a bigger movie.
And I think it's a good thing that he's not really involved
well, apparently
with it
this
anymore.
movie
I think he was burnt
killed him.
out. Yeah, he was pretty burnt out on it. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think you could tell that from Avengers 2 as well. But everyone who's seen the first, they're not screening the whole movie to people early. They're only showing them I think the first half hour.
Oh,
And people said it starts off and goes right into it hitting the fan. So,
Maybe.
outside of that, I also really love Civil War.
Civil War. Oh,
Yeah, it's because it's just so personal for the heroes.
yeah.
There's almost no villain basically, and I mean you had the main character of the Avengers is the team of the Avengers, the first movie. The actual team is basically the main character of that movie, and it was it was can they overcome to join up as a team, and then Civil War just is tearing that apart basically.
I actually like that one too because there's one scene, and this happens a lot, and I see this a lot, unfortunately, and it's just how it's done, I guess, nowadays, which is a shame. But a lot of times you'll see combat or fighting scenes, and we do a lot of quick cuts sometimes. But there is one scene in that movie right near the last part of the battle where it's essentially a singular continuous shot for, I would say, about 20 to 30 seconds of the Winter Soldier and Captain America both striking at Iron Man, and they just keep that singular shot. So that whole shot, these actors have to go back and forth, swinging in, being parried, deflected, blocked off, being hit by laser, yet coming back while hitting one another in a continuous motion. And I love it. It's probably one of the best moments in the whole movie at the end.
it's definitely a very important one.
Oh yeah.
These Winter Soldier, Civil War, and then actually Infinity War coming up are all directed by the Russo brothers. I think they really have a sense of comic book fighting. Like they kind of their movies is where they started to like just kind of get away from the generic combat, like action combat, and like really like this is like, you know, a comic book character where like Cap kicks in a door and sends someone flying, you know, 20 feet.
Yeah. That was I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like but I'm not gonna argue it.
And then the car scene or whatever from Civil War where they're like running on foot at like car speeds. It's just great. And then my other favorite is Spider-Man: Homecoming, because I love 80s movies, and
that's adorable.
Yeah, and I love Spider-Man. He's one of my favorites, and
the Vulture was really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah. It's only 2 weeks till today, I think, when we get like, I guess it says the 27th. They basically come out.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be able to get, there'll be 20 viewings on the 26th. Does anyone any predictions? I mean, everyone expects people to die.
Yeah, kills Dumbledore, I think.
Cap or Iron Man, one of the two.
Well, yeah, the trailers really make it feel like there's like it's gonna be one of those two, but the trailers also have been known to like bait and switch in Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Nah, guys, don't worry. Nobody can actually die. I mean, in the comics, Captain America got shot in the head by a sniper rifle, still alive.
Well,
Hail Hydra.
They're playing up Bucky. They're playing up Bucky to become the next Cap. So
Kevin,
they want him to become the next Cap. They want to bring in new people, and they're kind of letting go of the old.
Well, yeah, they can't. So they can't keep doing it like comics do it, because comics, you know, you don't have an actor that's getting older and wants to do other things or whatever. And Kevin Feige. Yeah, yeah, basically
the guy in charge of the MCU.
Pretty much, he's the producer on every MCU and whatnot. He said if they kill off someone, they're gonna probably just stay dead. And I think be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, that's very dangerous territory to walk into.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Cap. I think
I could see Vision just dying too, because they pulled the stone out of his head.
Oh yeah, I would see Vision dying. I think that's really who's gonna probably end up getting killed off.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of Phase 1 characters die.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I mean, you can go like the meta-call and like Thor or Chris, whatever Hemsworth has said. Like if they do more Thor, like Thor Ragnarok, he'd be willing to do Thor more.
I think. I don't think Thor's probably gonna die. I just don't think that's really
after the success of Ragnarok 2. I just don't think they'll kill him.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna kill him even regardless of success. I don't think Vision's gonna stay dead for realsies, because he's also a very new character.
True.
I mean, he shows up in 2 movies.
His consciousness could be in the stone or something.
Yeah, they could probably bring him back.
You just make him back into being Jarvis.
I think, as silly as it sounds, even if they don't kill somebody off, you can certainly retire somebody and say that they're just passing off the gauntlet, or you can handicap them, or even take away their power, or do
maybe one of the Guardians.
Yeah, I could see one of the. Well, I don't know if the Guardians will get probably.
Gamora's sister, maybe.
I don't know. Some people thought maybe Gamora, with how they're playing her up in the trailer.
Possibly, I don't know. It is really hard to say, because they've been very good at keeping the idea of that they're playing up a number of people in the trailer, which means that this potentially are all red flags as we understand them. But then they could pull a Last Jedi on us and be like, "Ha! You thought it was the people who were showing in the trailer, but it was not. It was somebody else."
I also think if anyone, I would expect anyone who's dead at the end of the next Avengers, the untitled one, to be dead. I kind of think that something weird might happen between this Avengers and the next one. Because we still have the Soul Stone that no one knows about, or what it is, or anything too.
I don't know. I mean, you could technically do anything.
Captain Marvel.
Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So.
I hope the reason why Thanos does what he does is just because he can't get over the fact that Death just won't love him enough.
Yeah, I hope they actually put her in the thing.
Original one. Yeah, that'd be cool. They did. I mean, for in the trailer they referenced the snap too, which is real cool.
Yeah. He says something about courting death too. So hopefully
Well, I hope it's not actually as silly where he's throwing a temper tantrum that Death just won't give him enough love.
Yeah, but I hope
Well-
she shows up.
But I hope the reason is for it is that he has actually met Death. He has fallen in love with her, but the reason why he does what he does is a little bit more complicated than just because I want to be with Death.
Well, I think in
It
the
works.
original comics too, it was also he actually wants to balance out the universe with life and death, which is why he only kills half the universe.
That'd be cool. Make him
Yeah.
he sees himself as like some higher divinity being. So I would like that because that would make more sense. I mean, yeah, sure, he wants to be with Death Waifu, but he also sees himself as he kind of sees himself as the balance keeper, and therefore he's better, and he should rightfully deserve to do whatever he wants if he can do that. So, egomania, play it up a bit.
There are also people have also been freaking out because like Hawkeye's not in any of the stuff. Like he's not like in
He's
any of the
retired.
trailers. He's not in any of the promotional material.
He's the first one.
I
to
like the
tell
idea
that.
that he's just retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of really what it was
He's
though.
retired to
Like
go
that's
for
kind
the
of how his
tag.
character plays. He literally even in what is
Well-
it? I think in Civil War.
The
Yeah,
end of Civil War is they're all in prison, but you know
Yeah.
they get broken out.
he gets broken out. I mean, he'll have to probably go in hiding. I mean,
Thanks,
you
Cap.
could-
Going back to my house.
I mean,
Right.
you could even argue that that's might be the ending for some characters. Nobody dies, but they're still technically enemies and have to go into hiding because they will never play by the UN's rules.
Right.
And that could be the way to kill them off. That's why they go away. I mean, and that's not as any. I think the real question comes down to: does somebody need to die to make it a good transition? And if so, why?
Well, I mean, just no one has real like they've had like one real death so far, and I mean, to some people it just feels cheap, I guess.
What was the one real death?
Quicksilver.
Silver.
Oh yeah,
And even that was like kind of like a cop out because there was like,
yeah.
I mean, it was in a movie he was introduced in, so it's like it almost doesn't even count. Like
Yeah.
you didn't have the time to like grow and
Yeah,
you know, get
no,
attached to him.
I agree with that. That was one, and it was like, really, they're killing him off? Really? Okay. well, all right.
The other, but I've also seen people were like, well, they're not showing him because obviously when Thanos beats all of them, it just cuts to Hawkeye. He's like, well, I guess I'll have to do it myself.
Which would be funny.
uh,
And that's when Hawkeye shows us his final form.
mhm.
He puts on his actual costume.
Yeah, he puts on his actual costume.
But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
really
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking
ready
forward
to
to
see
it. I
it.
really, it's gonna be weird though because I'm gonna tell you right now, it is kind of the ending of a legacy. It's a decade long series. You are dropping a very big movie down, and then the idea is that you're going to continue telling more stories afterwards. But we've built up to this, and now the idea is that can you?
I mean,
Whether
they're on uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Everything they're doing is
Everything they
an
do after,
unknown.
and we're gonna see if that succeeds or not, because that's
Yeah.
the bigger challenge: is can you tell a story that will pull us in as deeply as when you started this Marvel Cinematic Universe after you've told the Infinity Stones?
Yeah.
Because now you are in.
They haven't even named whatever is after the. Well, they haven't named the next Avengers movie.
Post-phase.
It's still untitled, and then they haven't, revealed, I guess, what is after Phase 3. They're calling it post Phase 3 instead of Phase 4. It's just weird, and
I think that.
Boy, I can't wait for that
it'll-
Howard the Duck movie.
I am ready for Howard the Duck.
No,
Oh,
Gonna
my
happen.
God. All right,
I
Tats.
want. Oh, okay.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just
You got
gonna say I
something
want
else
a
to say?
Spider-Verse movie where we get all the past Spider-Man.
Don't worry,
Yes.
guys. We're gonna get Venom. We're gonna get Venom soon.
Oh yeah, we are getting Venom.
Venom.
But
Is
that's
I
that
not
hate that-
Marvel. That's
Can I-
weird.
Can I
okay?
just
So it's
say,
the
I hate that trailer because it doesn't once show fucking
Yeah.
Venom at all. I am so upset. I'm like, we came to this to
Sony's-
see the son of a bitch, and you're not showing it.
Sony's being all weird about that. They're like, it's in the same universe as the newest Spider-Man, and Marvel's like, no, it's not. And Sony's like, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
It's not going to be in the movie, but it's still in the same universe. Marvel's like,
So
no,
true.
go away.
Stop it, Sony. Just everybody sell back your products to the MCU universe, please.
that's
I
Disney.
implore you. please sell it off to Disney, and not even so much Disney, but the people who are currently working on it are wonderful. They have done so much good, and even their lows are still better than almost majority stuff out there.
Even the Incredible Hulk is better than Fantastic Four or whatever the latest one was.
So please, I implore you, just sell it off, okay? Just give it back. Just
or
put
do
it all
what
under one
Sony
roof.
did, and like you still own. I guess you technically have the rights, but you let Marvel use the characters.
Yes, just even let them use it. I don't care what you do. I mean, gosh dang, it's not hard.